Hello and welcome. If anyone is joining me live, welcome. If you're going to catch me on the replay, I'm looking forward to your feedback on today. I'm just going to give a little bit of intro so everybody knows why. Well, hopefully you know why you're here. If you don't, well, you'll get a little bit of information now. I wanted to welcome you to my live Reiki meditation. Are you ready for personal growth this spring? Normally, this is my Q&A for the Soul Journey membership, but you are welcome to come and experience whatever you are needing in this moment. If you're coming back, I'm glad you're here. If we haven't met yet, I'm Mary from Rivers Journey Wellness. I'm a holistic therapist. Basically, that just means I'm looking at the mind, body, spirit, emotions, everything kind of going into making a whole person. I'm also an intuitive coach and guide and an energy healer. So I'm sort of combining all of it together into the work that I do. And I'm glad that you're here. So during today's live, we are going to do a little bit of meditation. I'll guide you through a guided meditation and then through a distance Reiki session for activating our energy for our new beginnings in spring. And I hope you stick around to the end because I'm going to give a little bit more personalized guidance so you can hear a little bit more about what you need to be aware of, looking for, hoping to experience. Sometimes we need a little bit of guidance on how do we put that all into place. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about some upcoming events. So, you are welcome to put any questions, comments, concerns into the chat. That's always there. If you're watching the replay, you can always, put a question or a comment in the comments. I will see that and I will respond as soon as I can, of course. So before we get started, I wanted to be a little bit transparent about why I'm doing this topic during this time in the US. So for a couple of months, I have to admit, I've been horrified daily, not only about what I'm seeing, but what I'm hearing from this administration. At times, it has felt very cruel. It has felt very antagonistic, undermining, dishonest, deceitful, and not to mention sometimes unethical and probably illegal. And I know my opinion may not be received well by some of my clients, some of my community, and I get that. But I think it's important for me to be able to address the elephant in the room, for me to be as authentic as I can. I encourage my clients to do that, and I want to do that as well. Knowing that so many people are in pain and there's so much fear and anger and distress. There's so much unknown, and it feels like the unknown is maybe even more overwhelming than what we're seeing or currently experiencing. So how can I be talking about personal growth in the spring, activating energy of change? It might seem sort of not in sync with the energy, and actually, for me, it is, because I want to start preparing for a new beginning. This is not my new beginning. This is not the place that I'm going to stay. I know none of us will. And I feel like I need to do my part to keep people on the path of growing and evolving. And if you're needing to grow within yourself, your family, community, the greater world, we need you to keep growing and evolving. We need you to bring your beautiful light into this world to create tiny little ripples of change. And I know staying scared and staying stagnant will make you feel miserable, of course, but it actually adds to the collective sense of dread. And we're not able to create any change. And I really want people, whether you're a client of mine or not, whether you're just somebody that popped on and saw this, I want you to really look at where you want to create change in your life. I want you to think about how you were meant to share your gifts, how you want to share your gifts and talents with this world, and really think about how you're able to manifest, you're able to bring positive experiences into your life, into this world, even in the midst of this chaos of this administration. I know people don't want to hear more political stuff, and I'm not going to get too heavy into that. That's all I wanted to say. But I just want us to think about, if we're able to collectively rise above this pettiness, the distractions, we're able to see our path again. We can begin to speak our truth. We can live a little bit more authentically and feel like we don't have to hide in closets or in the corner. And hopefully we'll start to become a little bit more revitalized. We might feel energized again about, how do I meet my needs, my goals, my desires, and be able to feel confident and competent in our ability to just manifest brilliantly in our life. So I know this may not jive with some people's perspective. This is mine, and hopefully you'll be respectful in the comments if you have one. But I do believe in humanity's resiliency, and I do believe that we have the ability to overcome even these horrible adversities, and that's definitely my opinion. But I do also think that you deserve happiness, you deserve joy in your life. I want you to be able to tap into the energy of spring so that you can experience a new beginning that's just perfect for you, just ideal for you. Okay, so I wanted to get that off my chest as we start to begin. If you're still with me, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you decided that this is something that you can still continue with. And if you're ready, let's explore your personal growth this spring. So, as you know, or if you don't, I write my own meditations. This one I wrote is fairly brief, just something to give you a little bit of. When it's a guided meditation, there should be a little bit of visualization. You should be able to hear some of the words and allow the mind to take you somewhere else that's uniquely your own. And so I have something written, and then we're going to move into distance Reiki. And if you've never experienced Reiki, if you're not familiar with guided meditation, just being open is enough. It's just a start, right? And for the guided meditation, I do encourage people to sit still, to maybe just unplug for a few minutes and just be present with yourself. If you're unable to do that, maybe you're going to pop in some earbuds and go for a walk. That's okay too. During the Reiki, I would encourage you also to maintain as much stillness as you can. You don't have to be laying down, but not doing some heavy work or driving. All you have to be is open to receiving. Like I said, there's nothing that you have to do, nothing that you have to know ahead of time. I will have prompts and affirmations for you, so it will give you a little bit of guidance and kind of alert you to what I'm doing. So I'm going to pull up my meditation. I always write out my meditation, because otherwise I get really distracted, and sometimes I go off task, which sometimes okay, sometimes it's not, when people are hoping for something in particular. So let me just open that again. Okay, so I don't see that there's any questions, any comments, and that's perfectly fine. So we're just going to go ahead and begin. I like to begin meditation, and I guess any sort of energy healing, with a little bit of sage, typically. Sometimes I start with cedar. Sometimes I might start with some other herbs, but today we're going to start with sage. I'm just going to light a teeny bit of sage. I do have a smoke alarm above me, so I don't want to set that off. But the reason why we use, or at least the reason why I use sage, is when we start that process of cleansing and clearing, we start that process of opening up. I just have to pause. I love the smell of sage. It just like instantly relaxes me. But also we're sort of alerting our guides, our guardians, that, hey, we're really looking for your support right now. We need your attention. Sometimes we're looking for signs. Sometimes we're looking for messages from our guides. to give us clarity, point us in the right direction. Sometimes just to say, I'm here, and I'm supporting you. So just a little bit of sage. I'm going to let this tiny piece just burn out. I'm going to bring the microphone just a little bit closer because I'm going to talk a little bit more quiet during the meditation. But with guided meditation, it's just a gentle process of observing your inner world without any distractions. So if you're ready, I invite you to take a deep breath in and a full exhale out. And just continue with a few more of those. We're just beginning to welcome in stillness. We're beginning to release the stress of our day. And after a few of those deep cleansing breaths, you're welcome to return to whatever is your normal rhythm. As long as it's slow and steady. You may want to adjust your body, make sure that you're sitting in a comfortable position, or you could be laying down. You can give yourself permission to close your eyes, to even further tune out life's busyness. Give yourself permission to just ease into that dreaming of intentions, your intentions for spring, planting your seeds, fostering fresh growth for your new beginnings. So opening up to that spring intention setting. Sorry, just hit my mic. So I invite you to imagine yourself in a quiet meadow in early spring. The earth is waking up. Soft green shoots are breaking through the soil. Tiny pink and white flowers dot tree limbs. A contrast against a beautiful blue sky. Birds and other animals are busy in creating their new nests, filling their bellies with nutrients so that they can revitalize and grow. Noticing a gentle breeze brushing against your skin, carrying the scent of blossoms and new beginnings. With each inhale, feel the miracle of spring all around you. The warmth of the sun, the return of a bird's song, the quiet resilience of a bud preparing to bloom. And silently affirm to yourself, I believe in miracles. I am a witness to the quiet magic of life. Now imagine yourself rising slowly, effortlessly, and with ease, like a bird taking flight, a clear-sided eagle or hawk, powerful wings opening to the breeze. You rise above the meadow, above the trees. You begin to see further, wider, clearer. The view expands, and so does your understanding. From this height, you can see every twist and turn and pause in your life. And you can see that it's something, a part of something greater. A place where you no longer fear change, but instead you welcome it, just as the earth welcomes spring. Returning back to your meadow with feet planted firmly on the earth, affirm for yourself softly, I rise above. I see with clarity. I trust in the unfolding. New beginnings bloom in me, just as nature renews herself. Take a deep breath into your heart center. And let these affirmations settle into your heart space. Feel the miracle of your own becoming. In your mind's eye, send out your intentions out to the universe. Declaring it so that you can claim it. Allow your hope to expand, filling your mind, your body, your spirit with anticipation and excitement. With curiosity, take a moment and notice if there is any messages for you that you're needing to receive from your higher knowing, from any guides, from any ancestors, from the universe. Feel their eagerness to support you in your co-creation of your next step in achieving your wish, your dream, your spring intention. Know that your guides are always available, and they will continue to support you, to send you messages, to show you that you're on the right path for creating something new and fresh in your life. It's almost time to take inspired action, to bravely step into your next cycle with the universe's support. You can co-create a beautiful next season where you'll be rewarded sweetly because you've chose to navigate towards your dreams. Your future is rich with promise, with abundance, with limitless possibilities. Know that those seeds of intention have been planted. And know that you're able to patiently await, to take inspired action as needed, and to watch with joy as your intentions bloom and blossom this spring. It is time to release this meditation. When you're ready, you can return your attention back to your body, bringing your attention back to the present, back to this time and space, returning your awareness back to your room, back to your body. You can wiggle your fingers and toes if you need to wake up the body. And with one last cleansing breath, you can open your eyes, awake, renewed, and a witness to the miracles that are going to unfold for you this spring. So that was my short guided meditation for you. You're welcome to go back and listen to it again if you'd like. You can journal about maybe any signs, any messages you received, any thoughts that you have. Maybe something has shifted where what you thought was a goal or what you thought was a desire, maybe that has changed. Maybe it's exactly the same. It's okay. So for us to be open, for us to be ready to receive, for us to be able to take a dream, put inspired steps into action so that we can manifest something, we can experience something or bring something into our life, the thing that we're hoping for, the thing that we're hoping we will receive. We want to be able to make sure that our energy is clear, there's no blocks, we can release some of that stagnant energy. And one of the ways that we can do that is through Reiki. So I'm going to do a little bit of distance Reiki, send a little bit of distance Reiki with the intention of activating that new growth, that new beginning for spring. And I will have some affirmations for some of our chakras. I'm going to be working with the 7 main bodily chakras. And I just want to help support that activation or that revitalization sometimes, that energy of spring. And then, like I said, if there's any blocks that need to be cleansed or cleared, hopefully we can do that as well. You're welcome to go back to that place of sort of meditative stillness. You can go back to that place of relaxation. Again, there's no right or wrong, but I would encourage you not to be super, super active during this time. Hopefully you're able to do that. And I just need you, if you're open to receiving Reiki, all you have to do is just affirm that, yes, you're open, you're ready to receive. Like I said, there's nothing else that you're needing to do. And this is, if you're unfamiliar, I'm gonna ask that this time is supported. This time is supported beyond what we're able to do. We're going to ask for our guides and our guardians to be present, to hold sacred and healing space for your guides, spirit guide, Reiki guide, any animal allies, any ascended masters, any ancestors, any archangels or goddesses, all for your highest good, all for the intention of cleansing and clearing the chakras, opening your energy into that spring, rebirth, that renewal. If you have an intention for yourself, you can set that intention now. Sometimes it can be as simple as, may I receive what I'm needing in this moment. It can be that simple. Sometimes it might be more specific. If there's something that you've been working towards or hoping to manifest into your life, you can set that intention. And then allow that intention just to drift away. You don't need to hold on to it anymore. And I'm going to start sending Reiki. I'm going to actually send it to the top of your crown chakra, top of your head. Begin there. People are always curious if they haven't received Reiki, what will I feel? Sometimes it's just feeling relaxed. Sometimes people feel lighter or heavier. They can feel like a tingling sensation, heat or coolness. Sometimes they receive messages. And sometimes I receive messages as well, for you or on your behalf. So we're simply opening that crown chakra, open to receiving wisdom and guidance, for us to feel connected to the energy of spring, connected to the energy of the universe, reminding us that we're not alone. Support's always available. We just need to be willing to ask for support. I'm feeling a lot of heaviness in the crown, so I'm just going to use, this is selenite, I'm just going to use that to clear any blocks. Sometimes we put self-restrictions on ourselves. Only so much is available to me, or only certain people are, able to receive. Just trying to clear all that energy in front and behind you, on your sides. Just releasing any belief that says that you're less than. I'm going to use a little clear quartz. Seeing like, I don't know if it would be like blinders, like something covering sight. So if it feels like you haven't been able to envision your spring, I call it, your next season, but whatever your new evolution is, your personal growth, if you haven't been able to envision that, because of for whatever reason. Maybe just opening to those opportunities, opening to possibilities. Just releasing any fear. Fear and doubt, they really stagnate us. Let's just create that openness. And with that, let's just work on sight. Sending Reiki to your third eye. You can feel those intuitive nudges. Hear your intuitive wisdom. And let's just affirm that I come to this spring with an open heart and an open mind to see or witness my ideal path. Move down to the throat chakra. Finding your voice, your true and authentic voice to speak your truth. To take that dream and to bring it into this world. Seeing the ocean waves. Maybe there's something rhythmic. Conscious. Just awareness of what you're hoping to receive, what you're hoping to bring into your life. But allowing that to flow with ease. Move down to the heart chakra. Just know that with every ending, with every new season, new cycle, we're just creating space for something greater to begin. We want the heart to be open, to be aligned with the energy of growth and change and transformation. Really trusting yourself, understanding your needs, especially the need for rest. Rest is part of action. just opening up. Again, we're just trying to open up the energy. We're just trying to allow for that expansion. And sometimes we get down on ourselves if we've had the same hope, the same desire, and it hasn't come to fruition. We tend to blame ourselves. We tend to blame our abilities, and sometimes that's not always the case. It's kind of like the concept of right idea, wrong time. Or maybe we really just have to get our energy a little bit more aligned and supportive, quieting self-doubt or quieting any limiting beliefs or mindset that holds us back. So let's just open the heart chakra, just sending yourself just that self-love and self-kindness, self-compassion. We want to really focus in on that self-supporting energy in the heart chakra. Sending yourself any forgiveness. If you weren't able to manifest in the past, if you're blaming yourself, we don't want to hold on to that. If there's been people in our lives, people in your life that weren't supportive, that didn't understand or didn't see your vision the way that you did, just want to release that. Just chugging along. I can hear. I have a train outside. I can hear. Energy's just moving out, chugging along, going down the tracks. I'm going to come down to the solar plexus, which is a little bit above the belly button. It's like alerting everyone. The train's alerting everyone. I'm coming through, right? Make way for me. Let's clear out anything that has been holding you back on your journey from stepping into your most authentic self, from discounting your strength, discounting your ability, discounting that you have something to offer. You do. You always have something to offer to yourself, to friends and family, to community, to this world. Remember, we want to tap back into just that brilliant inner light. We want to activate that tiny little ripple. You take one step, one inspired step forward, and it leads to the next. Just reinforcing your ability to be a guide to yourself, a passionate leader of yourself. And then move down to the sacral chakra, which is a little bit below the belly button. That one gets a huge horn. I don't know if you can hear the train in the background. 2 trains are passing. And hopefully you trust that along your journey, you get to experience joy and bliss. You get to receive all of the lusciousness of this world, the richness, pleasure. It doesn't have to be hard work and toil always. And I think spring reminds us to play, to make time for play, to be active. To be bright and bubbly. Get curious. To explore your creativity. See how your creativity sort of paints or illustrates your interests, your passions, your dreams. Just clearing out any stagnant or stuck energy. And if you feel anything coming up, any tension or tightness, just take a breath and imagine on your exhale just releasing that either through the breath or through your grounding cords, if you're familiar with that. This isn't a time for being stuck or stagnant. This is truly a time for growth and movement. So if it feels like there's energy in your body that's stuck, you can move the body if you need to, adjust the body. Especially when we're working with the sacral. Sometimes it's like a movement of the hips. I'm going to move down to the root chakra. So you can start feeling your path, trusting in the process of your journey. It's not always linear. Seeing setbacks as lessons, having, again, that higher perspective, that higher wisdom to see it all. To believe that you're the author of your next chapter, of your journey. Sending Reiki to the root. Just going to seal that in. You can take a deep breath. You can move your body again if you need to. Just Norbert's stretching my dog. Norbert, he's always here. Well, not always, but usually he's here. He always enjoys the meditation. He always enjoys Reiki or meditation. He likes them both. So he is always very responsive. I kind of like that. So if you've made it through to this point, I hope this is just giving you a little bit of inspiration to think about your new beginning with spring, to think about, where have I been feeling stuck? Where have I been really stagnated with this fear that, so much is being flung at us that it just feels so overwhelming to the senses. And I just want you to take a little bit of break. Hopefully this is a little bit of break for yourself, just to reorient yourself, just to feel like, okay, I'm back kind of grounded. I'm rooted in what I'm hoping to receive in my life, or what I'm hoping to bring into my life. And I'm not going to be sidetracked or led along a crazy crazy path with everything that's kind of going on in the world right now, and refocus on like, how am I growing? How am I evolving? How am I blooming and blossoming? And how am I receiving all that I want to for this spring, all that I want to bring into my life that's going to bring me joy and happiness, because that is what we're deserving of, not this stress. So I'm going to pull a couple cards to give us a little bit more information, just something to kind of chew on and see, tap in with your intuition. Whenever I pull oracle cards, I encourage people to look at the images, see if the colors, see if there's anything about what you first noticed, see if there's any meaning for that for you. And then listening to the message and hearing, how does that apply to me? How is that something that is good for me on my journey? So I'm going to actually pull from a deck. This is called the Sacred Forest. I'd actually pulled an earlier card, and maybe I should take it out of the deck. This morning when I was thinking about showing up live, I haven't been live for a little bit. When I thought about showing up live, I thought, I don't know, are people going to be open to this? Are some of my clients going to be open to this? Because I know where they fall. Unfortunately, politically, we might not be in tune with each other and step with each other, but I pulled this, miracles. And I love this. I love that imagery. That miracles still happen. They're still available. That energy. Oh, some of the cards are going the wrong way. It's still something that we can, I don't know, bank on. Whoops, that was quick. I didn't even get to ask my question. There's two. I was going to ask, what else do we need to know about this spring energy, about us evolving, about us moving forward? Aw, I love that. Whoops, how do I get that straight? It's a challenge. So hummingbird spirit and joy. Oh, I love that. I love to release all of this stress and tap into joy. How about you? So if you are into numerology, this card is 22. If you're, I know my camera's not awesome with colors, but there's some pinks and greens, lots of greens, some white, obviously, the hummingbird. Ooh, interesting. Purity is the other one. And this card, so 22, breaks down to 4. This is 45, breaks down to 9. Very curious. Unicorn and purity. So let's see. What do we need to know about this spring? How are we going to walk through this time? So this card says, open your heart to celebration and fun. Who told you that you need to suffer to grow? Yes! Your soul expands in leaps and bounds through following your bliss and expressing your love. Embrace life, yourself, and others in the moment. If you've been waiting until circumstances are different before you allow yourself to experience joy, you may have a long wait. Life is always changing. If you don't follow your bliss now, when will you? I think that's a really good point. When we can thrive in challenging circumstances, we are like unstoppable, right? If we can decide, like, I need to put my needs first, or I need to really put the wheels in motion for bringing, my dreams to life, or for creating the life that I want to live, or whatever it might be. If we can choose that now is the time, I don't have to wait for like perfect circumstances, for things to settle down, for things to calm. It's not going to happen. If we can do that, we're way ahead of the game. Your purpose in life is to experience joy. Take steps towards the now. Take steps towards that now. Oh my gosh. Take steps toward that now while protecting your personal boundaries. You don't need to do everything all at once, but you do need to start. Happiness spreads to others like wildfire and can help heal the world. That was my point for today, is that you are going to be creating these little ripples. When you have the belief that you can create positive change in your life, that you can continue to grow and evolve, it inspires others. It supports others. What you're able to bring to this world, that joy, that happiness, that bliss, whatever you're creatively expressing, is going to inspire somebody else, and then they're going to do that. So I just love this for the card. Although hummingbirds are small, they are capable of traveling great distances and can even fly backwards. Their presence is a reminder that life is not just about reaching the destination, it's about the joy of the journey. Hummingbirds visit an average of 1,000 flowers a day. That's crazy. Because they expend tremendous amount of energy, it's necessary to have periodic times of rest. I just said that. Follow their example and remember to replenish yourself. That is the key to any journey. Okay, and unicorn. I don't see this card often. So let's see what she means, purity. It's like stuck in between. So here's that card. Whoops, here's that card again. This card can appear when you are ready to step into the innocence of a child and see the world with eyes of wonder. Traditionally, unicorns represented purity, innocence, hope, faith, high ideals, and miracles. Oh, wow. Okay, then there we go. Traditionally, I just said that. When you stop looking at the world through the lens of your past, you'll find how fresh and wondrous the universe truly is. The past doesn't need to define you. Know that life can begin fresh and new. Every season, we get to recommit ourselves. This is me. But every season, we get to recommit ourselves, to our goals, to our dreams, to whatever we want, to our life, to our friends, to our family, to ourselves, whatever. It's all fresh and new, especially in spring. So move with that energy. This card can also appear when there is a need for inner purification and renewal. Take time to release what doesn't serve and support you in your life and watch the miracles unfold. So, of course, if we're hoping to receive, we do want to make sure that we have space for that we're able to get rid of the clutter, we're able to clear any of the blocks, any of the stagnant energy. I mean, that's why we always talk about like spring cleaning, right? That's why there's such wisdom in feng shui. So, if you can, think about, where do I need to clutter clear my physical space, and where do I need to clutter my mental or my emotional space? Am I taking in too much negativity, too much heaviness? Am I stuck in my own thoughts that are filled with fear and doubt? Like, how do I just release those, let those go? I know it's easier said than done. Obviously, it's a practice, and it's not something that we can always be guaranteed that we're going to do 100% right each time. But the more you test it out, more you try, the better you're going to become at it. Unicorns are symbols of miracles, magic, and enchanted living. This legendary creature can call the seemingly impossible into reality. If you have a dream that has eluded you for a while, this card is letting you know that all things are possible. The unicorn, the purity of your heart is emerging, and it's time for sweet innocence to flood your being. Purify your life, step into your innate innocence, and believe in miracles. They are coming. Wow. I hope that is true, not only for me, for friends and family, for community, for country. Hopefully that is something that you can really feel excited about, that there's possibilities, and that you're able to create a change in your life. You always have the power to do that. We can't discount that or give away our personal power and say it's only available to some people, or because of circumstances I can't create that. We want to let that go. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for sticking around. Sorry you had to hear about my soapbox. I just thought it would be really important for me to express where I was at. And I wanted to reflect on, like I called it earlier, the elephant in the living room, where we all know sort of chaotic, sort of a shit show, but we can still create positive change in our life regardless of that. And I think as we start to create positive change in our life, that ripple out creates more positive change, and then things feel less chaotic. When we begin to feel like we're in control of the other way. Here I have the Serenity Prayer. That red banner is the Serenity Prayer. So determining what I can control and what I can't, releasing what I can't, and putting my energy, putting my effort, putting it all into what I can control. That is wisdom. So hopefully you're able to do that. Next week, I'm going to actually be back 2 weeks back-to-back lives, but next week I'm going to be back actually with one of my really dear friends. She's going to help us with this chaos that we're kind of living in, with this upheaval, with this stress. How do we navigate that? How do we navigate that in a way that feels good, that helps us ground, that helps us reduce some of the inner stress that we're experiencing? So I'm really excited to have her on next week. Hopefully we'll do a little bit more lives. I know I'm not always consistent with lives. It kind of depends on what I'm doing with my clients. If you've stuck around, thank you. I appreciate it so much. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. I am still trying to grow my channel. This is like a crazy algorithm where the little people, I say, we kind of get like shoved to the side and we don't get as much play, but that's okay. But I still feel like, that helps me a little bit. That helps me to grow. And if you do have a comment, I would love to hear it. If there's something that you're excited for spring, share that. If you're not comfortable sharing your personal stuff, give me a little flower, a little spring flower in the comments, just so I know that you're here and supporting everybody's spring renewal. So thank you for joining me, and I look forward to us connecting again.